believe that the world can understand Israel better if we understand ourselves and we know what we are, because there is a process of delegitimization of the state of Israel as a Jewish state in some parts of the world, not in the United States of America, but you can see it in some parts of the world, especially in Europe. And the world is willing to defend the right of Israel to exist. This is part of the requirements that the quartet demand the Hamas. I mean, they ask them in order to get legitimacy, to accept the right of Israel to exist. But I would like to add two more words to this demand of the quartet. They need to accept the right of Israel to exist as a Jewish state. When I ask international leaders to say and to add the word Jewish state, there are those who are willing to say so, including President Bush in the United Nations General Assembly, and there are those who are not willing to say so. So we need to work together in Israel, the entire Israeli society, with the Jewish people in diaspora. What does it mean? And we need not to forget the ultimate goal of the state of Israel, because it's not only about our physical existence. And the ultimate goal of the state of Israel is to be, or to keep Israel as a Jewish and democratic state, a secured state in the land of Israel. And we need these two values of Israel as a Jewish and democratic state to live together and not in contradiction. Jewish state is a matter of values, but it's not a matter of religion, it is more a matter of nationality. And a Jewish state, it's not a monopoly of rabbis. It's what we are. It's what each and every one of us feels inside. It's about the nature of the state of Israel. It's about the Jewish tradition. It's about the Jewish history. Regardless to the question what each and every one of the Israeli citizens is doing back home, what was doing these Saturdays or in other holidays. But we need to keep the nature of the state of Israel, the character of the state of Israel as a Jewish state, because this is, excuse me for using French, the raison d'être of the state of Israel. Being an Israeli, it's not only to speak Hebrew or to go to serve in the army, which is very important for us as a society, but it's about the Jewish education and the history and tradition, because this is the common denominator, the common ground, and the bonds between Israel and you and the Jews in diaspora and the other Jewish communities. We need to do it here, talking about education, and you need to do it in your communities as well. Because it's not about us, it's not about our generation, it's more about our children and their children and their children to come. But we all need to fight or to meet the same challenges today. One is, as members, as citizens of the world, as members of the free world, led by the United States of America, against extremism, especially against Iran, which is a state that represents this extreme ideology, extreme Islamic ideology, that is not fighting to the rights of anybody, that is not connected to any conflict in the region, but just creates new conflicts in the region, trying to deprive us from our rights to live. The other challenge is, of course, the need to fight for the existence of the State of Israel. And we do it together, here in Israel, and we know that in bad times, in tough times, in difficult situations, you are here to help, to stand with us, to support us, and this is you are part of the strength of Israel in its fight for our existence. Not less important is the fight, the mutual fight against anti-Semitism that rises its ugly head in different places in the world. I believe that this is not only the responsibility of the Jewish people or the State of Israel to fight anti-Semitism. I believe that this is the responsibility of any leader in the world because it tells everything about the society in which it exists. But since we need to lead this fight, we need to be there in order to tell them that there are things that they need to do, that there are things that are right and there are things that are wrong, and they need to live according to the values that they are talking about. Israel will not participate and will not legitimize the Durban II conference. We call upon the international community not to participate in this conference, which seeks to legitimize hatred and extremism under the banner of fight against racism. And I believe that part of the responsibility of any Israeli leadership is to make all the efforts to try and reach peace with our neighbors. Fixing or tikkun olam doesn't mean that I believe that I can change our neighbors, the Palestinians or others. But I believe that our responsibility is to work according to the Israeli interest. And the Israeli interests are to try and to translate the vision of two states for two peoples living side by side in peace and security, as long as it represents the true understanding of this vision. Two states, not only just two states, not only two democracies, not only two independent states. This is only part of it. But two nation states, which Israel is the Jewish state and the other state is the answer, the full answer, the complete answer to the aspiration of the Palestinians, and it means that no refugees are coming to Israel, and it's not a question of number, it's a question of concept. Stagnation is not our policy, stalemate is not our philosophy. We are willing to make this progress in order to reach peace, not because you demand us to do so, but because this is our interest. Now, of course, one of our frustrations as Israelis, as Jews, is the gap between the state of Israel, what we are, and between the image of the state of Israel outside. And part of our responsibility is to try and bridge this gap. We are doing it in trying to have a branding process of Israel, because we want that the word Israel will not be perceived or will not be seen just through the distorted lenses of the conflict. And this is the reason why we are working together in different parts of the world, in contributing, in trying to help the international community in facing the challenges of the international community. Crisis in terms of water, global warming, food. I mean, the state of Israel in this tiny place, since we don't have, well, God promised us honey and milk, He didn't promise us water and oil, but we managed with our creativity to be proud of our achievements today in terms of technology and agriculture, and this is part of our contribution to third parties in the international community. As an Israeli song says, "Ani ve'ata neshane et ha'olam." Together we are going to change the world. Thank you.